Hey, yo, everybody. Welcome to AEW Uncensored. This is Alan. I'm here with Bill.
What's up, guys? We got one of my old friends here, Anthony. He's joining us this week. He's going to be here the whole show. So,
what's up, Anthony?
What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man.
It's been a while.
No, it's definitely been a while, man. Definitely. Too long. Too long.
So, I guess we'll get right into last week's episode. Want to start off some discussion, Alan? What do you think? What do you want to start with?
Yeah, so I liked it. The biggest issue that I had with last week's episode, I think, was the ending, only because it was entertaining. It was great. It was good to see Matt and everybody involved. And sorry, I'm getting feedback.
What are you getting feedback from?
Sorry, I'm hearing everything that we just said. Shooting back.
Oh, so you're getting
you got to mute,
pretty much.
Mute YouTube. You got YouTube mute.
Is that
YouTube.
what happened?
Yes.
Sorry about that, guys.
Fucking guy. Can't even get going here. Come on.
Really sorry about that.
Nah, it's all good, man.
There we go. Really sorry about that.
Rookie. So go ahead. Let's hear it. Spit it out.
Are we starting over?
No, we're live, man. What are you doing?
Oh, all right. I thought we were going to start over. Wow.
It's happening. It's
Wait, this is really raw. All right. This is about as raw as you're going to get. We're going to have to...
I'm not even cutting this out of the podcast part.
Man, we're not editing a thing. This is real underground podcasting for wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's great.
I was going in thinking that we were just going to start over again. So, no, sorry. All right. Yeah. So, this is live. Anything can happen.
And it has.
And it has.
The best possible one.
But yeah, start off at the top, I think, with the ending. I found it to be a very entertaining segment with Matt, with Jericho, Vanguard 1, whole 9 yards. My problem with it is that I don't feel that that's what you have as your, I guess, as your main attraction, as your main event, as your main way to end a show with a comedy little spoof like this. This is something more that you would see in the middle of a show. It's kind of like harkening back to when Matt was doing the whole broken bit with TNA.
Yeah.
Most of what he was doing really was kind of like mid-card, funny entertainment stuff. Yes, he got popular. He got over with it. He was moving up the card with it. But the kind of thing that happened here for it to see this end the show, it doesn't feel like something where your top heel and your top event is happening with this kind of an angle. It just felt silly. The whole Floyd the Bat thing felt silly. It had that Walking Dead thing, right? Because Walking Dead, right? Negan named his bat as well.
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
of course.
I don't know. I wasn't feeling it in that respect. I didn't think it was a way to end the show.
Yeah.
The inanimate objects.
Yeah. Battle of the inanimate objects, right.
Yeah, basically Jericho's like, you won't join me, so I got myself a new one.
Right.
Yeah. Let me see. I mean, I kind of got a kick out of it. For me, I mean, the segment, that segment where they posed, with they all stand on him and give the finger, and I thought that standing on Vanguard and posing was pretty funny. I got to be honest with you. And then the biggest pop for me was Sammy when Jericho goes, tell him in Spanish, Sam, and he goes, El Honorable, and I popped so hard. I was just like, man, that's beautiful. That's just fun shit,
And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the segment. I thought the segment was hysterical. My problem with it was the positioning of it.
Yeah, I could understand that. I could definitely understand that. But what was that? That wasn't the main though. That wasn't the end. That was like right before the main, right? Wasn't Brody Lee and what's his name? Brody Lee and Brian Dan. Oh, Jesus Christ!
No. The Brody Lee match happened before that. That ended the show.
Are you sure?
Maybe I'm.
I thought what's his face, Moxley came out and
Yeah,
because he had to go through all the minions and whatnot, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, you're right.
Christopher Daniels and Brody
Yes.
Lee ended the
You
show.
were gonna say another Cyber Daniels.
Yeah. Completely different Daniels.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so for me, I see what you're saying. It wasn't the end, so I don't think it was as bad as but I definitely, if that was the end, it almost would be kind of like But I will say that was the biggest pop segment for me, but it was more so that Sammy line where he goes, "Sammy, tell him in Spanish," and he El Honorable. I was just like, fucking, I popped my ass off for that. I was like, that's beautiful. So, but yeah, I mean, from that, I mean, the posing of Vanguard was great. I do like. I mean, let's transition off that. Unless you get Anthony, you got anything on that match?
Oh, I'm
sorry, that segment.
Oh, the segment. I mean, it was okay. I wouldn't go over the top about it. Yeah. It wasn't amazing. It kind of kept me interested. I kind of wanted to see where they were going with it, but some of it was kind of you can tell it was going to lead to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it wasn't too bad. The ending segment was probably a lot better though for me. I liked when Moxley came out and pretty much ripped up House.
Yeah.
Because that's what he do.
Yeah, I thought the match itself was really good. I thought Christopher Daniels and Brody Lee put on a really good, solid match.
Oh, yeah.
And
definitely.
Christopher Daniels is a professional, man. That guy's been around forever. So.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
he's awesome.
He hit that Arabian press to the outside. I was like, oh, I cringed a little, but I was like, damn,
Sometimes you can kind of see he's kind of stiff on some of those things, and might have a little injuries probably dealing with, but old age, man. I mean, he's been doing that. He's been rocking for a really long nice time, man.
Yeah. When he hit it to the outside, man, I was like, wow, that impressed me for his age and everything. Mm-hmm. It's like, But when he tries to go up for it, it's like he looks a little stiff going for it, and it's like, don't miss, man, don't miss, Fucking land on his neck and break his neck again.
That's a suspense, man. That's how they get you.
That's true. Keeps it interesting.
Of course.
What about you on the last match there, Alan?
I like it.
The main events mixed up 2 weeks in a row, bro.
I guess I did. See, there you go. And I can tell Anthony here. I can tell everybody on the air. I'm definitely relatively a newbie to AEW. I've just been getting more involved with it now. I've mostly been a WWE guy, but which is good because I get to really see the disparities and the differences. I did like it a lot. Again, you've got in the ring the two of them together. They work really well. The fact that it didn't feel. I mean, Daniel's been around for a while, but it still felt like a fresh match for the most part to me. I really did like. Again, the discuss lariat looks beautiful. It was good. I think that I don't know. I kind of feel like this is something where I would, if you'd like to see it as definitely a long program. It's a matter of how much juice do we think that they can get out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, with who? With Mox or with Daniels?
With Brody Lee and Daniels.
Okay. Yeah, well, they kind of the whole thing kind of started with Daniels, mm-hmm. and they kind of the pandemic here hit at that moment, so
right.
It kind of threw that a little bit of a monkey wrench. But yeah, I agree. I think that would be nice to flesh it out coming up after this Moxley match that he has.
I'd like to see that. Yeah, and I think the match with Moxley would be great. But yeah, I kind of would like to see a longer program certainly for these two. But yeah, I did. Moving on a little bit through the show, the thing that surprised me, I was really quite interested to see that Tyson's going to be at Double or Nothing too. That he's going to be presenting the TNT Championship to the winner, and I kind of just got all these old school feelings from '98 when he was in that DX, and it's making me wonder. I wonder if they're looking to get something more out of this, which if they do would be great.
They probably will.
Yeah.
They're probably definitely. I'm going to go on a limb and say they definitely will. They're going to have to. I mean, you're just going to have him just come in and just be like, "Oh, here's a belt. Thanks for the money." You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he's gonna do something. I haven't really formulated anything in my idea what might go on, so I really have no thought process on it yet. But we'll get to this later. But everybody had kind of speculated Sting might be that guy. Well, we'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, so that kind of first show, like all those rumors started like earlier that week, and then come the show, they just squashed that rumor right away. So, but yeah, it's interesting, especially with Mike Tyson being in the news lately about a comeback or a charity match. I mean, you saw the
videos in training.
Oh yeah, he looks sharp. And I'm not a Tyson guy, but he
still looks great. He does not. It's weird. Sometimes you see him, he does not look like he's aged at all.
Oh yeah,
I know. Yeah. He got in shape fast too.
Oh
yeah, he got cut pretty quick.
So what'd you have to say? I know you wanted to talk a little Pineapple Pete, Alan. Let's get into
it. That was great.
Let's get into it.
Well, yeah, no. So Pineapple Pete, I don't know. Pineapple Pete is somebody. Again, he works really well with Jericho. I think it's just a hysterical combination. I don't know about Pineapple Pete as an opponent for Jericho as far as being in a program. I don't know. Right. There's something about him that feels missing.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could be an underneath guy, like a start of the card type guy. Maybe somebody that enhances people, but also can get some wins. That type of guy. I don't think, like you, I don't think he, a solid long program with him, but maybe something where they kind of poke each other for a long period of time. That would be interesting.
Like if he was involved with another program, definitely a little bit under the card, but there is this thing going on, this little jabbing back and forth, and then it can lead to a big payoff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. I mean, at least in AEW, like, if they have someone like that, they might actually do something with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if it was WWE, man, he would just be burial by.
It's true.
Pretty much with that. That gimmick is just like it's probably just going to take it away. And he's just going to like probably come into his own type of thing, and he'll probably be some type of mid-carder at least.
Yeah, I mean, worst case, he goes back on the indies and makes a shit ton of money as Pineapple Pete now.
Oh, I hope so.
You know what I mean?
I would pay for that.
Right. I mean, Jericho just made him a star right there. Maybe not on the big stage, but on the indies. I mean,
yeah.
His rate just went up.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Yeah.
Real quick, I know I wanted to say this earlier, but if you're watching the stream and you really want to like come on and just give your opinions or your thoughts on anything AEW, or just come on and bullshit with us a little bit and jump off, almost like just a caller. Join our Skype chat in the link below in the description. This show really, we want to make it more interactive, less us just back and forth, and more like interaction with people who are into AEW and want to come on and bullshit with us, you know what I mean, and have some fun and give your opinions, or hey, I've been thinking this, what's your guys' opinion, and vice versa with us to you guys. And this really wants to be an interactive show for us, so please join that Skype group chat, and from there we'll be able to bring you on the show different times in the future. So that I got that out of the way. I'm sorry, I kind of missed that at the beginning of the show, but let's get back to the show itself. Sheeta, I want to transition to Sheeta. Like Alan knows this. I am not a women's wrestling fan at all. So
can I say on a side note, especially AEW women's wrestling? I'm just gonna say that. I'm sorry. It's not that good. Like they have people, but they just do not work together most of the time.
Well, listen, we just lost somebody was watching and he just left when I said I don't listen to women's. I don't. People are so sensitive, man.
It's not even a thing, dude. Because I'll tell you this right now. I've seen great women's wrestling, and you know what? AEW's they have to step that up. They're
still very green. Listen, yeah. I just got to say this. Let me finish this. This guy, he must have left it. He goes, this motherfucker don't like women's wrestling. What a sexist fuck. No, listen, man. Yeah. People are sensitive. Oh, we lost another one. I think it's because I cursed. No, but seriously, I saw that. I had to say that, but it's like people get sensitive if like you don't like women's wrestling, you know. But
it's not even that you don't like it, dude. That's not the point.
These same people are the people that are just oogle these women, and you know that's the only reason they care about women's wrestling is because they oogle them and they go, oh, look how sexy she is, you know. But anyway, so I've been trying to give women's wrestling more of a shot, especially in AEW. You know, being a mark and shit that I am. So you're right. The women's division definitely needs work. I think some of it's getting better. Some of it still needs some work.
They're all over the place most of the time.
Right. I forgot to mention this last week. That senton that Nyla did. Oh my God, she crushed that poor woman. That was like she didn't. I mean, come on, man. She really shouldn't be that senton. Okay, so anyway, back to Shida. I'm a big fan of Shida. I think she's really killing it. I think she's doing a good job. She's the one that puts out the best matches in the women's division. I do like that they're giving her the mic time that she's gotten. Well, listen, she's been on the mic twice that I've seen. But, I mean, I like the fact that last week they gave her some mic time. Granted, she's very new to English and it's rough, but at least she's getting to do it live and on, you know, like, you know, right off the top. They're not chopping it. They're not letting her, you know, she's doing it live. She's learning live, and that's how she's going to get better at it. And I mean, be honest, man, her English is great. She's so talented. Like if you follow her on Twitter, she's talented as shit. She can play the piano. She likes it. She just does all kinds of crazy shit. So you can see she has talent, and she's going to get English better and better as the time goes on. And I think the more English she learns and the more she's able to be put in front of an audience and try to practice it, the better she's going to be. Her in-ring is already making her a star. Now with the language coming in and getting better, it's just going to skyrocket her, you know. So as always, I think she did a great job. I'm glad she's going to get the title shot. We'll talk about our picks and stuff for the pay-per-view a little bit, but you know, so I was happy to see that she got that.
Yeah, I mean, if they're at least giving her an opportunity, it's like you said, you know, she is very green on the bike, but they're giving her the opportunity to work with it on the bike. It's not, again, this again shows the differences between AEW and WWE. If she was in WWE, Vince would be terrified to put her on the bike.
Right,
you know,
they never would do it.
They would never do it. It's the same reason they didn't like Asuka to talk a lot. They didn't like Kairi Sane to talk a lot because the fact that, you know, they have relatively broken English. They're giving her a chance here. And I think that, just having her in a program with Nyla is just going to elevate her. And she is very impressive. You know, in regard to the whole women's division in and of itself, we were talking about this last week, Bill. It's still early. It's still early for everybody in AEW. I think that the women's division has grown in leaps and bounds just from the first episode. Yeah. I mean, look at Britt. Britt is becoming a star. They just had to find the right role for her, you know, make her a heel. She performs pretty well in the ring. I think that you're going to see a lot of improvement from the women's division here as time goes on. They have a lot of really good NXT type, really raw talent that they can work with.
So I kind of jumped ahead with the sheet. My notes are a little like scattered here, but I will say we could talk this four-way. Britt Baker has gotten a little better in the ring. She's obviously doing great with her gimmick. I'm enjoying it, but man, she had a moment in that four-way where she just like completely got lost and just looked like she was rolling around on the ground. And she had this shit-eating grin on her face. Like, I don't think I'm doing anything right now. Where am I? Like, she just had this look on her face. Like, I just rolled around like a dummy and did absolutely nothing. And I looked completely stupid. And she just like, she could do nothing but like put a big smile on her face about it.
Assuming that's going to show up on Botchamania and saying that she's corpse, then you're going to go send to the man. So that's going to happen.
Yes. I don't know if you guys caught it, but you definitely got to take.
No, I did see that, and it's funny because it's her just. She's being very good-natured about it. She's just like, I don't fuck it up. It's fine. I'm just going to laugh it off. I'm just going to be a dick about it.
Yeah. I think they need to stop trying to do so much to women. Like, Statlander tries to do too much. She's super talented, super potential, but stop trying to do so much, especially in a four-way match. I think they're just trying to do way too much and, get the basics down and then work your way to a more of a mid-tier and then more of a higher performance level, Yeah,
like go up with the technicality as you progress. Yes. Don't try to do something when you're not ready for it.
100%. I think they're just trying to go from top performance and just work everything in between. Start low, work in between, and then get to the top performance. And you'll see that things will look better. They'll flow better. It wasn't too bad, but I just felt like at times they were trying to do too much.
Well, I think that speaks to what we're talking about here, the fact that they're all still green. When you have a four-way, that's kind of a little bit too advanced if you're trying to just work out your semblance as a performer. Because the problem is that the fact that they were trying to do too much is probably because the fact they're trying to overcompensate. They know there's four of them in there. They all want to have a spotlight. They all want to make it look like all four of them are working to the same extent. But yeah, it might be too soon for the promotion in general to have a four-way with women until they get more comfortable just performing on a regular nightly basis, even just one-on-one or in a tag team.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I think they need to kind of break that mentality, and I did like that at the end that Sheeta won. Obviously, she deserves a title shot. I honestly think they need to put the title on her. We'll talk later about the pay-per-view, but I do like that her winning was also based on Britt just not just going out of her mind and just putting the mandible on Statlander on the outside and just not even caring about the match. Yeah, the lockjaw.
With a glove too, by the way.
With the glove. So.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, she's been doing that, for the past couple weeks or so. But I thought that it was good to as soon as they panned out to that, I go, oh, that's a match. I said that's a program that's coming. Sure enough, they end up putting it on their pay-per-view as another match, which, not that I'm a brilliant or anything. I'm just saying as soon as the second I saw her doing that and she wasn't caring about the action in the ring, I said they basically were setting up the, that to be another program coming up. So that was cool. I mean, they both are pretty green, so hopefully it works out. But I think Britt has a really good gimmick going right now that's going to work well. Statlander, I'm not sure I'm with this alien thing. She's super talented. I just don't know that I'm with it.
Yeah, maybe back in the 90s, WCW.
Exactly. Right.
Whoa. No. You're talking early 90s WWF.
Or late 90s WCW when they were falling apart going into the 2000s.
Yeah, I don't know that they had.
Or they just, not aliens, but they did throw out gimmicks that were crazily bad.
Oh, man.
One word, RoboCop.
That was 90, man. That was 1990. Listen, you know who made a good point about stuff like that? Was Mark Henry on Busted Open. I don't listen much, but I caught something, and he was talking about Ronda Rousey and some people being, she had said something recently, and people were being bitter about it, like Nia Jax. And he said, those people bring eyes to the sport, so you can't disrespect them. And you know what? RoboCop's a goofy gimmick, but Mark Henry actually, because I had that mindset, fuck RoboCop, fuck, boxers, fuck this guy, all these stars, it doesn't make sense. But then I'm like, you know what? He's 100% right. That brings millions more people that wouldn't have been watching to wrestling, and that's what you want. You want wrestling to become a larger thing than it is and a more mainstream thing than it is. And by bringing in those one shots or, little small programs, he was right. Rodman, I hated the Rodman thing. I hated the Malone thing. I'm a WCW guy. I hated both of those, but I get now that it's funny that it took me 25 years later and Bubba Ray, or I'm sorry, Mark Henry going, listen, XYZ. And I'm like, shit, man, I never put it together. You're 100% right. And I looked at it the wrong way the whole time.
Well, it's funny you bring up the Malone Rodman thing because, they were tapping into the immense popularity that was going on at the time with the NBA, with those guys. It's that I do see a little bit different because that's like RoboCop was just randomly bringing in a goofy gimmick. That at least it's like when they brought in Mr. T in '85. You're bringing in real life performers, I guess, so to speak, who will tap into other audiences who are so just wanting to see them in anything that they're in. So yeah, I do get that part actually for those guys, for that, but at least for those types of gimmicks.
For all the years, and like I've always been a guy that's hated that, like those little shots, and seriously, just one little interview that Mark Henry, 1 minute little diatribe that Mark Henry went on. And I was like, God damn, man, he just completely flipped me. And, and it's, me, I don't change. Me, man, I don't change my mind very often.
That is true. That is true. Gonna mark this day down to the calendar.
Yeah, definitely. What match do you guys want to move on to? Any of you guys have any of the other matches you have something to say about? I mean, I got plenty more, but.
Not really. I mean, it was pretty standard. I mean, it's right before a pay-per-view. They're just mainly just setting up stuff for things that happen.
Yeah. So I liked seeing Jake again. Jake is he's the best there is right now, business-wise, for this company as far as being able to draw heat and play up on what happened last week. And I think finally having Cody getting involved in attack, I think was great. So I like that whole segment quite a bit. Yeah,
I felt that promo was really, really sharp in the beginning. I don't know about the whole Cody thing. It was a little.
It was overdue.
Well, look, dude. Sometimes Cody's like on point, and sometimes he's just like a little over to the left. And it's just not on, and you kind of have to feel around like for some of his stuff because he does some cool stuff sometimes. He actually puts his mind to it, and he actually gets stuff done. But then there's a lot of stuff that he does is just do you really need to do that? And this is one of those things. That was the best part that made me laugh was probably when he drove the friggin' truck and literally just bounced into the friggin' guardrail. That's it. He just bounced into it and got out. Like, yeah, we could have plowed through that thing. I don't want to hurt my truck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, come on, he could have just came from the back with his hands taped up, jeans on, ready to just brawl. Yeah. What? That was a little that whole segment was a little hokey. But before that, Jake was slaying that interview as always, or that promo as always.
Oh yeah, Jake has always been great, man. Regardless of his state of mind, he's always been great.
Yep.
he's just that
and
guy.
Maybe even sometimes because of his state of mind.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like we all remember the what was it, Legends of the Wrestling?
Oh yeah.
The 2001, right? That's what it's called, Legends of Wrestling.
I think so. Yeah, man.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
No, I don't.
Oh, that's that stupid program that they had where they were going to get a bunch of wrestlers, that like older wrestlers or whatever, and bring them into this like one time like shot like kind of like pay-per-view thing. And it was like I forgot the guy's name that ran it, but he had nothing to do with wrestling. He never did anything about wrestling. He had no idea what he was doing, and he just grabbed all these stars that he could find, like Yokozuna and friggin' Jake, and I can't remember most of the people.
He was like building an all-star team.
Yeah, it was like all yesteryear guys. I think they had King Kong Bundy there with like a bunch of crap. So Jake was off his tits. Came up with this horrible promo. about like gambling and stuff. And then he's like walking down to the friggin' ring, and he's like making a woman in the crowd rub his chest and shit. And he's all drunk, and he's like, "Oh, dude, it's a disaster." Like everybody was a disaster.
I was out by then. WCW was done. I was done. So, you know, I was like,
no, I hear you, dude. I miss WCW.
That's funny. So real quick, I don't even remember who did MJF wrestle. Was it
not. I think it was just some random dude, right?
Some jobber, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sorry. We got. Listen, we got to be PC in today's era.
Oh, it was Lee Johnson.
Enhancement talent.
Enhancement talent. That's right.
Jobber. Yes. On this show, it's a motherfucking jobber. Okay.
It's a job.
We don't
jobber.
See. But anyway, the one thing I want to say about that match was that shoulder breaker into the arm lock. Mm-hmm. That was smooth. I really liked that finishing move he did. Super. It was just fast. It was like boom, boom, done. You know. So I really.
MJF's actually really good, dude. He's a really good wrestler and a beautiful heel. Like he is like my top tier heels, man.
Yeah, definitely, especially in this day and age.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
What you guys' thoughts on Taz and Darby? That whole thing. I feel like I'll give you my opinion right off the jump. I think for me, I see Taz. This is a way for them to get a heel announcer, and they're gonna use this to turn Taz heel.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they need to. I think you really do need to have that old school kind of a heel announcer. Yes. And I think they finally realized that, and I agree. And Taz does a very good job with it. I mean, I've seen Taz do announcing as both a face and a heel, you know, color and otherwise. Right. And he definitely performs better as a heel. He talks a lot of shit, and he knows how to get under people's skin. So yeah. I agree with you. I think that was the vehicle for this. And I liked it. I hope that really is what they're going about doing.
Yeah, me too. What about you, Anth? Any ideas on that?
I mean, I like Taz regardless, like whatever he's doing. I mean, he's not a great face, but him as a heel, yeah, I think he should definitely become one. I think that entire interaction was good, and I think maybe he will, maybe he won't. I mean, he's probably gonna get like pushed, and he's just like, oh, fuck this shit. and then it's over, you know what I mean? And then he's just gonna go full heel, kind of like Aces and Eights crap that they did, and it probably feels something like that.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you know, just my observation, just my thought process on it, like where I would go maybe is just like Alan said, it's like you kind of need a heel announcer. I mean, Bobby Heenan was the fucking king, you know.
Bobby Heenan, Jesse Ventura, even Jerry Lawler back in the 90s. Exactly. You need, if the whole row of announcers are just all saying the same thing and just yapping it up and just being all babyface or just calling the moves, it's not so interesting because you get a lot of storyline potential out of the announcers actually arguing with each other or getting involved with the talent or being heelish with the talent when they're talking. It's important. I think it's vital for any promotion. So yeah, because until now it's not been the case.
I agree. So the next match I'm thinking was Ortiz and Santana versus Omega and Hardy. Now, right off the jump, my favorite part, aside from El Honorable, done by Sammy, okay, aside from that, was an actual fucking abdominal stretch that Santana put on. I was like, oh my God, a fucking real wrestling move.
I honestly can't remember the last time I saw that.
I almost went orgasmic. I was like, yes, I love this. I'll start this off by saying, before we get into the match, Santana and Ortiz, I really like them. I think they're solid. I love Ortiz, man. That fucking pose, the scratch, the pose, you know, the biting of the ropes. I mean, he's fucking great, man. He is a hell of a heel like that, you know. It's I really dig it. I don't know how you guys feel about them, but I never seen them. Maybe you guys seen them in TNA.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
I was going to say I don't have a lot of familiarity with him because I don't think I saw much of him when I was watching TNA.
Well, I mean, I'm not a giant fan of them. They're okay. They do good moves and they do good work. Actually, it's just their gimmick is kind of. I've seen it already. You know what I mean? I've seen it before actually too when they were in Impact and even afterwards through indie circuits. So I mean, I've seen them before. Their same gimmick. It's just it's a little bit more. I mean, that scratching thing's kind of funny. I do laugh at that.
I love it. And then he poses and
He's like.
I think I just can't wait till they really get some shine on them a little bit more. You know, become a bigger part of the show, rather than.
I mean, they were in the beginning.
Yeah, no, I agree. But right now they're kind of in that inner circle lackey thing, and you know, I do love Jericho playing off them like my thugs, the Boricuas from the hood. You know, like he cracks me up when he does that stupid shit. You know, it's. But of course, with them guys, all four of them guys, solid match. You know, solid match.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like Omega and Hardy.
For what Hardy can do.
Right. Yeah, he's older. You could see how.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, dude, his back is a board.
Yeah, you could see how stiff he is. Yeah.
But I mean, Hardy's still good. I still enjoy him. I was never really a Jeff Hardy fan. I was like Matt. Jeff Hardy he just jumped off things. That's really all he did.
That's true, actually. I agree with you.
Definitely. That's nothing.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy is very overrated, honestly. I think of the two of them, Matt has always been the more creative one, even if he doesn't do as much in the ring. Just from a storyteller perspective, he is just far and away.
Yeah. He's the actual worker. Like, all Jeff is just high flyer, and then I'm going to lay on the ground for like 5 minutes because, oh my God, I'm in pain. And then go to the next spot. You know what I mean? Like Matt's like taking all the hits, taking all the bumps, friggin' doing all the moves, and then Jeff comes in, does some weird ass moves that he does, and then just lays down because he has to rest.
Take a breather.
Oh yeah, of course. We all know the shortcuts when they throw him outside.
Yeah. lay under the ring for 5 minutes. We forgot. We talked Pineapple Pete. We failed to mention that promo.
Oh yeah, that makes it actually a lot better.
Dude, that promo was pretty damn good, man. You know, like I enjoyed it, and it was solid promo.
It was good. It was definitely good.
I just want to mention that because I don't want to skip over that. Give the guy some shine because I felt he did a really good job with it.
Yeah. I'll say this though, Jericho did sell very well for him and did a very good job of taking balls from him. He was putting him over. And then it just done.
Yeah.
With his move that he kind of missed a little, but I'm not gonna hate on him for it.
I'll tell you what, man. He's been that Judas effect. It really gives me I'm like, God damn, he fucking hit him good. But he's really when he hit Darby with it, when Darby did the dive outside, I was like, oh, that shit looked legit.
Oh, dude, Darby sells really well. He's a really good seller, man. He really shows it.
Yeah, but even Jericho. The timing on that is very smooth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Surprisingly, I can't remember what match. I think it was. I can't remember. I don't want to sit here trying to pontificate on where it was, but he hit. He hit somebody. I think it was the first time Hangman maybe. I was like, man, I think it was the Hangman match, and it was like the first time he used it, right, or something. And I was like, wow, that was pretty sharp. It was very well executed. I think the last match, I know we're all over the place in terms of order of this, but was the Best Friends in the Jungle Express, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was, right? Yeah, it wasn't that one. Yeah, because that's when all the
Jurassic Express.
Jesus.
Yes.
No.
Wow.
I like that though. The Jungle Express. It actually sounds.
You would literally listen to this and be like, does he even watch a show? Yes, I do. My memory is that bad. that's why seriously I get lost. Like sometimes I'm trying to think of something and I'm just like, wait, when did this happen? Because I can't remember what I ate for dinner yesterday. It's so bad.
Nah, I feel it.
But yeah, so it wasn't. I gotta say, man, I wasn't. That match was pretty sloppy. It just wasn't super clean. In my opinion, I just
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, the more you see Luchasaurus, he's still not too, and he's been around a while. You would think by now he'd be a little more polished, but
But it's funny because back in Lucha Underground, he was in it for I think the last season of it. I'm not sure if it was last season or not. Don't quote me on that. But he was in one of the seasons, and he was like one of the reptile friggin' people that they put in with, like other luchadors and whatnot. And he did some crazy ass shit that I figured, like he was really good. So I was actually excited when AEW was like happening and actually saying that he was coming over. I'm like, oh really? Wow. And he feels kind of dimmed down on what he used to be. I think he's way more capable of doing a lot more, but it could just be, working too much. Could just be aches, pains.
I don't know. I feel like he's a little stiff. He's a little he's a little too slow with execution and.
Well, yeah, because you also got to realize the height differences with people. I mean, he's huge. He's huge compared to most people in AEW because they have a lot of smaller competitors. And like when they actually have like taller, more like jacked guys, they look way bigger. You know what I mean? Just because of the set of people that they have.
Yeah, I could maybe see that.
Well, yeah, it's just
team next to Jungle Boy. I mean,
right? Yeah, he's Jungle
right?
Boy.
It's an odd tag team to say the least, considering the size discrepancy. It's
exactly
but that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good like thrown together friggin' team because they kind of had similar gimmicks, so they kind of work together.
in that match, they said they still teased the Luchasaurus and Wardlow. They're teasing that. That's coming up as a program soon. They've been kind of teasing that for a while. And then I'll tell you what, that missile dropkick that Phoenix put on Orange Cassidy.
Oh yeah!
Holy shit, bro! Mm-hmm. I thought he took his fucking head off.
He was like and wiped off his friggin' shoulder.
Yeah, I thought he took his fucking head off. I was like, holy shit. Oh my God. And that, of course, I was thinking in my mind was setting up a Best Friends and Lucha Bros thing, because they were already in that kind of program. And but then, of course, it set up Orange Cassidy and Phoenix for the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. So I guess, unless you guys have anything else on the show itself, I really don't want to turn this into a recap show, but we might as well talk about it. But you guys have anything else, or you want to smoothly sail into the pay-per-view here?
No, yeah.
We go right into pay-per-view. All right.
So, pay-per-view. Alan, what do you want to start? Let's start with the buy-in. Let's go, Alan. Give me your thoughts.
On the overall card, or?
The buy-in. Private Party, Best Friends.
Oh, okay. For Private Party Best Friends, I mean, I'm going for Best Friends.
Yeah.
I think the Best Friends, they are, it makes the most sense, I think, for them to come on top. That's why I pick for them. Not sure if there's much else I can really add to that. They're both fan favorites, so it's hard, to really, it's hard to pick when you're having two fan favorites, matching up, but yeah, I'll go with Best Friends.
Yeah, I'm going Best Friends, just because they're basically been on a run, especially since they were in Florida doing the show, the tapings at that time, and they really were putting them over. My thing with Private Party, way too green, like super green.
Yeah,
like they're just flippy people, bro.
Yeah, they're so green, and they try to do too much of that bullshit. It's like, slow your shit down, get your ring work tighter, and then worry about adding to. Again, same with the women. It's almost the same thing. Mm-hmm. Instead of starting at the top and working all in between all that, start at the bottom, work your way to the middle, Work your way to the top and then work all that in between. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm picking Best Friends on that. That's a pretty obvious choice, personally.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm totally Best Friends. I'm just going to say this. Private Party peaked way too early in AEW. I'm pretty sure they're just jobber babe pretty much right now. They are elevation pretty much.
I think AEW realized that, and that's why you don't see them as much.
Yeah, because they were on, like, when they started, like, when the roster was smaller, they were, like, literally, like, on every night, and they were just, oh, okay, here's another Private Party match, and then they do, like, the same gimmick over and over, and all flippy flip flap, and then the match is over, and they would win. But once they, like, hit this point, like, they're just going downhill, so I'm going to go 100% Best Friends.
Yeah. So I don't know who's watching, but we got 4 watchers. Woo! Third show, 4 watchers. But listen, man, hit us in the chat. What's your thoughts on these matches? As we go. One thing I will say about Private Party, Mark Quinn, that dude could be a single star, and they need to change their. I'm not a big fan of Cassidy. Mark Quinn, that kid's got more talent. He's got a lot of talent, and he's got a bigger upside, in my opinion. And their gear is fucking awful. I said it.
That's an understatement.
Oh my God! Please change your gear, guys.
It's so bad.
And I don't know. I like Orange Cassidy, man. I don't know.
No.
The other guy.
The guy in Private Party.
Oh well. Okay.
Follow along, Alan. You're like me, spacing off.
I do remember what I had for dinner last night, but that's because I eat the same thing for dinner every night now during this pandemic.
And I already forgot. So what's next? Who do you want to bring up next, Alan, from the pay-per-view?
Well, how about Britt Baker, Chris Statlander? I mean, since we were just talking about the women, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Statlander winning this, only because I guess if you're going by old school rules of, what happened on the go home show, I guess, where, you really did have a situation here where, Britt Baker just really had that whole up the attack. It really looked like she was just completely dominant with the lockjaw. So I'm kind of thinking that means that Statlander is going to come out on top. So I'm going to, and that may be an unpopular choice. Britt Baker is still, she's still on a roll. But you know what? No, I'm gonna throw the dice and say it's gonna be Statlander for this one.
All right. Anthony?
Oh, well, I'm gonna say probably Statlander. I'm not really a Britt Baker fan, and plus, I don't think she's that great.
No, I agree. I mean, I think she's doing well with the wrestling, with the promo side, and growing her character. Wrestling,
but that character?
You don't like that character?
No, I really don't.
No, I think she's playing it well, man.
I think she's playing it much better than she was at the beginning. I'll say that. It's
better than Statlander. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, right now Statlander's booping people on the nose.
I know, man.
I'm gonna. Okay, so you guys got Statlander. I'm going Baker. Like, she's just on that roll. Okay. Well, after we make our pick for. Let's make our pick for the other women's match, sure. And I'll kind of like tie the two together. For me, Sheeta versus Nyla Rose, I'm going Sheeta. That's my opinion. I think Nyla's too green. I think they pulled it off Riho to give it to the heel, so the heel can give it to the face again. My opinion.
I agree. I think that Nyla's like a transitional champion, I guess is the term that we're looking for here. I agree with that, and Sheeta's she's just exhibiting so much talent, and I kind of feel like they're noticing that they really want to tie their cart to that horse, and I'll agree. I agree. I think it's got to be Sheeta for this.
What about you, Ant?
I don't want to say Nyla Rose, but I'm gonna say Sheeta.
Well, say what you feel.
No, that's exactly. That is how I feel. Like it's just I don't think she's going to keep it. I think she's going to give it away just for the simple fact that, I don't know. I don't really like her character.
Okay. That's why they're going to take the belt off it, because you don't like her character?
Because I don't. Well, isn't that all that matters?
This is our opinions on these matches, so I'm joking with you. But yeah, I got you. So for me, that makes these two matches a key for the next program or angle, where I picked Britt, so I feel like Britt's the heel, so she wins that. She then goes into a program with Sheeta, where you got the heel in the face in a title run. You know, Britt going for the title run. Chasing the title. That's just like a thought process I had coming out of this pay-per-view with the who wins and loses. So.
No, you're right. That's thinking fourth dimensionally, and I wasn't considering that piece of it. But no, that does make sense. If the fact that if you are going to say that you're going to match up whoever the winners are of these bouts, yeah. I will take back what I said. That's a good point.
Damn, son, I'm out here changing lives.
I believe in sticking with my original decisions, which doesn't always work out for me.
Oh, I'm down. I'm backing that too.
So what's the next match you either one of you want to talk about?
How about MJF Jungle Boy?
Okay.
I mean, MJF is MJF. I don't even think it's a contest.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think it's going to be MJF, no question.
It's mainly going to be MJF just to push the other fights that are going on around them, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Explain.
So pretty much MJF, his bodyguard, is trying to fight Luchasaurus.
Okay, gotcha.
So they're probably going to make him go over just to mess up Jungle Boy, so he pretty much fights him. You know what I mean? Okay. It's pretty much just going to push out the rest of the...
Like we were saying earlier with the Luchasaurus and Wardlow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it's already showing marks of it's going to be that. It's going to be a dirty one. Yeah, pretty much. It's an MJF. Really never a clean one.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I mean, I like you're saying now you're talking. I'm starting to, my wheels are spinning. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna fuck Jungle Boy up. I think.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. So
he's cannon fodder right now, just for another fight.
Right. So I agree with you. I like that. I didn't even think of it in that sense. So yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, because I also think next week's episode, MJF is just signed up to fight Stunt.
Yeah.
So it's gonna boom, 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 just to push the thing. So it's just gonna be total rollover.
One after the other, right?
Yeah. You might see a little help outside from both sides, but yeah, it's gonna be a rollover. MJF all the way.
Okay. So what is the next one? Let's talk. We'll save the main event for last. So let's talk Cody and Archer for the title.
Ooh. We were talking a lot about this last week. I know. I mean, and I think I'm still sticking to my guns that I'm thinking it's going to be Archer. That I think that they're saving Cody winning any kind of a title until he has a shot again at the main title. So that alone, and I also think like they're really in a position to elevate Archer. He's got Jake Roberts as his mentor. They really have an opportunity here to open up this championship with a mega heel, with a mega mentor behind him. I think it's kind of going to be almost like a coming out of party for him. So I'm going to say Lance Archer, which I think is, I think I said that last week too.
Yeah, probably Lance Archer. Cody usually loses.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I didn't think about that too.
All right, so first off, Lance Archer is being pushed as a super heel pretty much right now, so they're not going to stop his shit. It's way too early. He needs to get pushed more. He needs to get bumped up more. Cody's just going to be fodder for him. He might have maybe a little more to do with him. Might have a couple more matches after that, and then a blowout. But I think right now it's gonna be Lance Archer.
Okay, so let's discuss the elephant in the room that none of us has mentioned yet. Mike Tyson. Does Mike Tyson sit ringside with the title? Does Mike Tyson come out after the match from the back with the title? And if he's sitting ringside, what does he do? If he comes out from the back at the end, what does he do? Do you think he does anything? Or like we were talking about earlier, are they going to get their money's worth and he's going to do something? So my thought process, if he's out there with the title ringside, that he can easily be the manipulating factor in, say, Cody winning by knocking out Archer and keeping Archer as a top guy who just happened to got cheated out of it. Or is he going to attack Cody at some point? You know, I had heard some rumblings of someone saying, well, if Tyson knocks out Archer, what does that say about Archer? Because Tyson is something, however old now. But it's like, okay, Tyson's 50 years old, but Tyson's Tyson. Tyson's Tyson.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean. Like, it's going to be a factor there.
Especially after those videos.
Yeah.
So my thing is, what do you do in that situation? Do they do it in the middle of the match? Does the match go the way it's supposed to go, and then he comes out and does it, and maybe does something to one or the other guy? I also, now that I'm kind of like thinking on this, I'm also thinking, I've been having this vibe that Cody's turning heel for a long time, months before the pandemic, everything. That he's been doing very little subtle things, heel. Like he's the double crossroads, the extra anger at points, him jumping out of the way so Brandy gets hit, stuff like that. And I'm feeling like there's little hints of him turning heel. So I could see him employing Tyson to knock out Archer to get the win over Archer.
But then if you do that, and I think that's a great angle, but then that kind of forces Archer to then become a face. Do you really take him off the road that he's on right now as far as being that top heel?
It doesn't, because you can have two heels going at each other.
I guess. I don't know. I've never thought that makes for a good program. Either two faces or two heels, but I don't know. It's a good point. It's a good scenario.
I guess, but it also doesn't have to be a complete heel turn. It's just Cody's doing heelish shit. Because he's already done, like what I'm saying is he's already done that heelish shit. He's jumped out of the way so Brandy gets smashed. He's, doing little extra.
Leading up to something, pretty much, is what you're saying.
I feel like he's slowly building to like a heel turn. So it's just another notch on the rung. You know what I mean? Another notch on the belt.
I do agree with you that I could see Tyson, and if we are going to go in that direction, that Cody's going to become a heel, Tyson as his enforcer would be perfect. But it's a matter of how do you maybe make that happen.
But I don't see Tyson going. I don't see Tyson going in a program, a long term, showing up weekly.
Yeah, it'd probably be like a 1-2 day thing, like 1-2 show thing. It's not going to be like something, because he wants to go do boxing, man. He's not going to. You know what I mean? But they probably don't contract you in AEW like they do in WWE. It's just probably just a few day thing. Probably nothing. If it was anything like what you were saying before, if it was anything about Cody like turning heel, I don't think it's going to happen at this point. But it might happen, and this might just fuel it more.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Full out heel turn, obviously. Yeah. Like Alan said, you got that scenario where, now what do you do? Because they're both heels. But
you could be a tweener. You bounce back and forth. I mean, Moxley's a tweener.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not a heel, but he's a hardcore face type of thing.
Yeah. Like don't fuck with me face. Right. Not a baby face, an adult face.
Right. So, all right. I mean, I think everybody's was on Archer. Am I not mistaken?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably go Archer as well. I'm just curious how Mike Tyson factors into all that. I mean, do you guys have any thoughts on what he might do, or where you feel that he might go with that?
I do think he will be ringside for the match. I think that the idea of having him as a spectator is important and prominent, so he'll definitely be at ringside. I am honestly having a very difficult time trying to think about what the end game though is, because like I agree, whatever happens, he works with Cody, but if Cody doesn't actually go heel here, then where does he land? Because I kind of feel like if he sides with Archer, then it's a little too heavy on that side. Archer's already got Jake.
Agree.
If you put Tyson with him as well, then it's just a little bit, it's a little too much. So I have to say, I'm having a hard time trying to figure out how do you get to the road that we're going to get to with him. But one way or another, I do think that he will be at ringside for the match.
Okay.
They'll keep having the camera pan to him. He'll. It's not going to be him coming out the very end. He'll be there.
Yeah, you're right.
There might just be little interaction. I don't really think it's going to be like some crazy thing. Just because of I think it's just, like he said, it's pretty much just going to be, pan back to him. He's going to, maybe like Lance might start saying dumb shit to Mike, you know what I mean? Something like that. Get him all riled up. Maybe a little tease at something happening, but I don't see anything like significant. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Let's just say that.
Right.
But I don't really think too much is going to happen about that.
All right. So next match would be we'll talk about the Elite versus Inner Circle Stadium match. Thoughts? Anybody who wants it first? Who wants to jump in first on that?
I guess I'll jump in on that.
Let's hear what you got to say. Come on.
Stadium, like seriously, like what? Why would they even do this? Like I get it, like you can do it, and there's not going to be people around, so you could do. I feel it's just going to be chasing them the entire time. You know what I mean? It's like they have the entire stadium they can go through, correct?
Yeah.
Is that just the inside, or does it mean all around, like in the bathroom areas and something?
I was thinking to be in the field.
Probably just in the field, right?
Yeah. I
have a feeling it might break in the inward workings of the building. But
I think so too.
Yeah. It has to. It has to. Like something has to happen. Like, because what are they gonna do? Like, crap! It was me. I'll just run around in a circle. What, are you gonna run after me?
Right.
there's your match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what if they go different directions and then you got two cameras running after two groups of people? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that might get a little bit annoying.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it's just kind of stay close together, kind of have a little movement around, not like we're gonna pull out to like a friggin' sky cam view and see like little ants running around. No. I just hope something like that does not happen. But I have no idea who's going to run into it.
Yeah, I'm curious, like the logistics of how they're going to do it, because my mindset went to middle of the field and the stadium seating. Yeah. So my mindset was, what are the logistics? How does it start? Do they have a ring in the middle of the state? So I'm kind of curious how it plays out. I'm kind of curious what they bring in to set that up and go about making that match, worth watching. Because like you said, maybe inside the inner workings of the stadium would be more like the main event from 2 weeks ago or a week ago, a week and a half ago, whatever the fuck it is now, a week and a half ago. It was like there was a lot to work with because they were in the bowels, Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, how about you, Alan?
I also think it's going to be the inner workings of the stadium. I think there's only so much that you could do on the field and in the seats. I think that, we've seen enough, WWE did this as well with the Performance Center. We've seen enough where you can get interesting by showing the inner parts of the stadium, and you can really play around quite a bit in, locker rooms or doing whatever else. I think it's going to make it for a more overall entertaining, spectacle, I guess. It is a very rough thing to put together with no people. It's
it really
hard. That's going to be really hard to sell. But I mean, insofar as results go, I'm going to give it to Inner Circle. I still think that they have to remain on top. They're still like that top NWO type faction who still needs to have that air supremacy. So as far as, making a prediction, I'm going to give it to Inner Circle.
But I think they're doing this Stadium Stampede match because there's no, they can't have the crowd, and it'll make it a little more. It gives them another option to make something more interesting, even though there's no crowd. Just my thought process on it. Inner Circle versus the Elite. Let me see. Oh man. Yeah, I guess I got to go Inner Circle, man. They've been winning and winning and winning. So.
I'm gonna say Elite.
All right.
I don't want to say Elite, but I'm gonna say Elite.
Yeah, I'm almost like I'm on the fence, man. I'm like the Elite's kind of.
It's hard.
The Elites. Maybe if they all come back, maybe it's kind of like they use the Young Bucks and Hangman, and they kind of like squash everything, and they just get the work done, and that's how they kind of build it up to get the work done. But
this could be even a breaking point, dude.
That too. Yeah. Maybe they hit each other in the middle of the match by mistake or something, and.
Well, yeah. After their match, friggin' the last pay-per-view, I love that match. It was so good.
Yeah.
But even after that, like you saw little sparks here and there, and almost friggin' hitting Omega and all that crap. And
right.
There's a lot of stuff, dude. There's a lot of stuff that is entwined in it that it kind of can go either way. I kind of want to see them break up and go like different directions and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I do like them. I do like them though.
Right.
I mean, I've always liked them even since New Japan and all that crap.
I've really been like missing that angle. I really have been since this whole thing's pandemic started.
Mm-hmm.
That angle was a fun angle, and it was like, what's next? Like every show I was like, what's next? So, all right, transition to the next match, which would be the Casino Ladder match. Winner gets a title shot. I hate these fucking matches.
I do too. I never like this stuff. It feels like such filler. It's filler to actually have to crown a winner, but then also you feel like you just have to throw 6 guys into a match. Like, well, we don't really know what to do with these guys as far as having one-on-ones or tag team. Let's just take all 6 and throw them into a match. It's I don't know. Yeah. I've never been a big fan of ladder matches, but I will say that of the guys who's involved with this, I'm probably going to say it's going to be. Yeah.
Let's lay out who's in it first.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at this list and I still don't know who would even win.
Here we go. Luchasaurus was just added. He's the latest. So Darby, Luchasaurus, Colt Cabana, Orange Cassidy, Phoenix, Scorpio Sky, Kip Sabian, and Frankie Kazarian.
That's such a hard choice. Like, because they're all like those people that like you kind of want to be like, oh, okay, you can win this, but that guy could also win this.
Right.
That guy. This is a very like, medium. There's no high, there's no low. It's a straight line. Friggin', I don't even know where to begin to pick one of these guys.
My top. Okay, so let's pick a top 4 of 8.
Okay.
All right, my top 4 would be Darby, Orange Cassidy, Scorpio Sky. And fuck, that 4th one's a tough one. I would say Luchasaurus.
Okay.
We almost match. I was going to say Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Scorpio Sky, but I would put Kip Sabian as my number 4.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a real dark horse in my opinion.
I feel like you need a dark horse in there, like some possibly type of a little surprise. That's why I like the idea of having that possibility in there. That could just be my own idiosyncrasies, but yeah, those would be my 4.
I'll say Darby.
All right.
Ray.
Okay.
Colt Cabana.
All right.
Or Frankie.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting 4.
It is.
Who I think is going to win the whole thing is Darby Allin.
Yeah,
I know that's the only problem I have with it, because I always look towards it. I want him to win. I think he's going to win, but he actually has lost a lot of these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, not ladder matches, obviously, but I'm talking about more than 2 people in the match type of deals. He has a very good one-on-one record, and everything else is kind of
Yeah.
So I mean, I agree. He probably is going to be the one who wins, but probably not the one I want to win.
So we all pretty much think Darby's going to take it.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously we're at the main event: Mox and Brody Lee.
Oof. Yeah, that's hard. That's actually really hard.
That is hard, because I feel like Moxley on paper makes the most sense, but at the same time, I almost feel like if Brody loses, that kills his momentum. And I always think about that with matches, is what are you doing with somebody's momentum?
Someone's hearing an echo we just got from a message.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Brody Lee, just because I feel like it will be too much of a momentum killer if he were to lose. If you really want to do something with his character, if you feel that he's an important character and that he's going to have a big, future, at least in the immediate timeline, Moxley has enough cred that he could lose this match and still not feel like he's getting buried in any way. Whereas Brody, if he loses this match, I kind of feel like it steps him back a couple steps. So for that reason alone, I'm gonna say Brody's gonna win it, but not he'll win it nefariously. He'll win it nefariously. It's not going to be a clean pin. Something else is going to happen, but he is going to win.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. He has to win that way. That's the only way. If it isn't a dirty win, then I think it's going to bring down Mox a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a happy medium.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm totally with that answer. Brody Lee all the way on nefarious things.
What are you thinking, Bill?
Man, I just think Mox hasn't had to run with it, so I think Mox keeps it.
Yeah. Okay.
Or maybe he's the one that wins in a dirty way. Maybe a little dirty D. No, throw a little dirty D's in there, right? But yeah, I think I think Mox is he probably should win it, but I kind of feel like it's going to go with Brody, though. You know what I mean? I totally agree with you. I think Mox should definitely keep his belt, because he definitely has not had it in a long time, and he needs to at least hold it a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with Mox. How and why, I couldn't tell you. I gotta be honest with you, I couldn't tell you. I know Brody Lee needs better ring gear.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Looks like a freaking white Power Ranger, dude.
He does. It's really, you know what? Honestly, not just the whole white Power Ranger thing. He looks a little too much like Seth Rollins in his WrestleMania gear. You know when he dresses all in white like that?
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw him wearing that gear, I thought to myself, especially with the black beard and the hair and everything, I'm like, he looks just like Seth Rollins. They kind of probably don't want to do that.
Just that stupid patched on stitches. And...
Yeah.
It's probably him poking in WWE. Like the same thing he
that
did
could be.
with Vince McMahon.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That seems to be his overall goal while he's here, is just keep diving that knife in. So maybe you're right.
Yeah, could be. Definitely could be.
I guess finally we could end on this, but the whole Sting scenario with a couple things that happened during the show. I'm not the show this past week. I'm sorry. On Twitter, number one, his WWE Legends figure was pulled. That was supposed to launch on Target, and then they say basically, for the foreseeable future, it won't be available. We'll see if things change. That was their press statement. Sting has been doing a little interacting with guys like Lance Archer. So it begs the question, Sting, rumors of Sting's contract is up. It begs the question, does Sting make an appearance in AEW?
I could see it. I don't know if he'll be a performer. I still think that he is at a place where medically he would not be able to do that, but there's no reason why he can't be a presence, maybe a mentor in the same way that Jake is a mentor. I could see it happening. I think that he certainly wants to be in the business. He wants to be doing things. So he may be seeing this as an opportunity, certainly, if his contract is run up, to be able to do something with somebody else, maybe be a guiding light for some of the younger boys. I don't know what his relationship with Cody, Bill. Maybe you know better than me.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, but I would not at all be surprised whatsoever if he shows up in AEW. And frankly, I could say that for anybody whose contract runs out with WWE, I would not be surprised at all to see anybody end up in AEW, and he's no exception.
Yeah, I wouldn't see him as maybe have a couple matches, but nothing serious and nothing long program wise. But I definitely wouldn't hate seeing him as part of AEW. That's pretty much my guy. My childhood wrestling. That's my favorite wrestler all time. So for me, it's like a selfish thing. AEW brought me back to wrestling. WCW was the end of my wrestling, and Sting was WCW. So for me, whatever role he plays, I'd be satisfied with it, just to have him as part of AEW.
Oh yeah, definitely. I hope he comes in. I kind of hope he doesn't wrestle. Maybe take minor bumps if that's a possibility, but I wouldn't want to see him do an actual a good one, quote unquote, a good match. You know what I mean? It might just be like you can still kind of go, but I don't want to hurt you kind of match. I'd still like to see it regardless. It's always nice to get a good pop out of nostalgia,
All right.
So get a good pop out of the non-existing crowd.
Exactly. Oh well, they have all their wrestlers there. They can pretend.
I mean, that's what sucks. It's like that. There's no more pops. There's no more. You could have big things happening, and it's just like, it just feels so dead. I don't know.
It feels like a dead crowd on a friggin' Raw episode.
Yep.
Pretty much.
But Bill, speaking of contracts running out and guys, coming aboard, one other thing I did want to tack on to Sting is Drew Gulak.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Hell yeah!
Yeah, I mean, Drew Gulak now, he was let go by WWE, which Bill and I were talking about this on the side before the show. I found that to be very surprising, simply because the fact that he was getting involved with Daniel Bryan, they were doing a good program together. They were both, against each other, with each other. I felt like he was on the road to really getting pushed, and it's interesting that this kind of a thing happened separately from the slew of wrestlers who got let go a few weeks ago. So it's interesting that his just happened this way. I'm very surprised that it did. I really thought that they would try to find a way to keep him aboard, especially considering the position he's in now. And do I see him going to AEW? Absolutely. Absolutely. He's got so much potential. He is somebody who can really become a star very quickly on this brand. And so, again, as with Sting, but even more so here, it would not surprise me whatsoever if you see him with AEW. I'm not sure whether or not he's got a non-compete clause as a result of his contract.
Oh no, he's like clear out. His contract ended. Yeah, he can go right now.
You know what then? Strong prediction for me, he shows up on the pay-per-view.
Ah, shit.
Hell yeah, iHeart.
If that's the case, that he can jump right on, he's going to be on the pay-per-view in some way, shape, or form. They're going to quickly write him in to do something. That's what I think.
I hope so. Maybe just a spot come in, freaking help somebody out and be like, oh, here he is, and depending on whatever they're going to do with him. But yeah, just to pop him out there, be like, oh well, we got him now.
Yep. Yeah, because I always get confused by that, with whether or not there's the non-compete clauses, and I feel like it's different for every guy. But if in fact he doesn't have one, there's no reason for him to.
Oh yeah, because his contract ran out and then they didn't renew. That's pretty much it. And he's just gone. They just let him go when his contract ran out. So he's free as a bird.
There you go.
I'm gonna take you guys' word for it.
Yeah.
Listen, Anthony, I trust you. Alan's thought process a little suspect because he's a Hulk Hogan fan.
Anthony, you a Hulk Hogan fan?
Sometimes.
Okay. I was just saying, if you're not,
1981 Japan. 1981
Oh, dude,
Japan.
old school Hogan was actually awesome.
Well, anytime he wrestled in Japan, he was great. It's true, but his working was not the part of his.
He was all promo.
He was all charisma, all everything else. But I'm saying here, I've talked about this with Bill. If maybe we could get a tag team match going here, Bill, me and Eddie versus you guys, about talking about the greatness or the not greatness of Hulk Hogan. I think we can get a show out of that.
I think, dude, Hogan's fun on occasion. I think he's fucking hilarious.
We could do. we should start a Patreon where we do like random other wrestling shit, and that could be an all out like just battle royal where we get on and we just fucking battle each other about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Hogan's horrible, but he's good on occasion.
Let's get some more listeners to the show before we do a Patreon. No, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
And for those listening in, leave your thoughts. I mean, what do you think? What do you think of Hogan? I mean, yeah, this is really AEW, but not a bad idea to get other.
Don't listen to him. For those listening in, chat with us in the chat live, and we'll respond, and send us emails for next week, things you want us to bring up, and join us in our Skype chat, and get on the show live with us. The link's in the description. That's what we want to do. This is interactive. We want interaction with people who listen to the show. We want basically you to be part of the show. Just want to have fun and discuss AEW. That's it. So, I mean, for me, that's kind of how I want to sign off for the most part. Just check the website, subscribe, like, share on YouTube, subscribe. Podcast apps all across the world. Share with some people into wrestling. Like it, please. iTunes, write a review. Please give us 5 stars. I'm begging. No, I'm kidding. But if you liked it, 5 stars would be appreciated. Just that iTunes review and star rating is huge. It really helps push us up in iTunes eyes. That's it, man. Reach out to us midweek, whatever. We'll be glad to, discuss stuff you want to discuss through, emails, or maybe hop on with us live or whatever. And even in the chat, the YouTube chat, come with some questions, some thoughts, and anything. And we'll go for, we'll gladly talk about it. So I just want to thank Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
Oh, no. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Good meeting you, too.
Fun to have somebody else in here, so.
Of course. You guys are great, man.
Apparently, we fucked up the audio somehow, so I'm going to have to hopefully salvage it. I think I left my tab playing, so I think I screwed up. But thanks, everybody, for listening.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Howard.
Bye-bye.